Did you catch The Last of Us? Oh, did I? All right, so before we get going on Minecraft and the rest of the stream, who's flying this game? I'm gonna try to compose myself a little bit because I want to talk about the episode. Before we start talking about it, I'm gonna wave my hands around, let everyone know it's gonna be spoiler heavy, and then I'll wave my hands again, and that'll mean I'm done talking about it. But I have things I want to talk about. I even wrote down some notes. We have to break this down, chat, just like I broke down last night. All right, spoilers time. You look Firefly today. What do you mean? I look Firefly every day. So I wanted to start by showing a few of my favorite shots from the episode, okay? So on slide 1, you will now see some screenshots that I took from episode 1 of The Last of Us. Before we actually do that, let me just kind of say, it was perfect. The episode was perfect. I, like a lot of people, had high expectations. I had a lot of excitement. It was perfect. I never could have imagined it going so well. They did everything right. They did things right that I hoped they would do. They did things right that I never would have thought to do. It was like, I don't know what I was expecting. It was perfect. It was absolutely amazing. So 1,000 out of 10. Cannot wait for the future episodes. And there were moments that they included in very, very true to the game ways with different camera angles, and they really made you feel like they rewarded the game players while also not catering too much to the game players. There was no more than a few. There was a lot of shots where it was exactly like the game. The framing, the feeling, the sequencing, the timing, the lines. I mean, I'll give a few examples. The car scene in the beginning. The way that they used that narrow depth of field so you can't see anywhere but where Sarah is looking from the back seat, exactly like the game. Another example, when he's taking a nap. That scene, dialogue word for word. He's on the other side of the room, but the way he falls asleep and then it just like cuts and it's raining and it's nighttime, exactly like the game. So many different scenes where it felt so perfect. And I was like blown away to see it come to life the way they brought it to life. So yeah. With that said though, I also loved the scenes that weren't in the game and that were hinted at in the game. Little things that would have been maybe like a comment in the game where they allude to it, but they don't explicitly show it. There was a lot of those, and I appreciated the fuck out of those. Let me look at my notes. Let me get to my notes. Where are my notes? Got my notes. Nice. So here are some of my notes. I'll get to my favorite shots. This is the final shot of the episode, second to final shot of the episode, when the radio starts playing Depeche Mode, and then it cuts to the exterior shot of the darkness that they're venturing into. Anyway, so I'll show you some of my favorite shots, but this was the first shot that stuck out to me. The shot of the audience and the opening scene. The opening scene didn't need it, but they created a whole thing that us game players never expected or would have known what was gonna happen. That opening scene was so good. I really liked it. So this is the shot I'm talking about. These shots right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this face, dude. Is this not the creepiest foreshadowing you have ever seen? Just an audience looking forward like the infected, exactly like the infected look. Look at them. This was perfect. I got chills. I was like, oh my God. I mean, they obviously like set the scene here for this in a very creepy way. The lighting, the overall vibe, the fact that that's the opening to the show. No one really knows what it is. And then they show the audience members, this lady needs a raise. Whoever the fuck that is. And that guy is just, he probably looked at her and was like, I'm gonna do what she's doing. Amazing shots, loved those. Completely creepy. And it was, obviously the scientists are talking about fungal infections and pandemics and stuff. That's like explicit foreshadowing. This was more undertone foreshadowing, which I liked. I liked a lot. The driving shot, exactly like the game. The burning down of the barn, the narrow POV lens, and the shots of Sarah's face in the car. Absolutely loved. The fire reflecting on her face in the back seat. Again, when the car's turning, dude, that turn when they're leaving the cul-de-sac felt like it took 2 hours because you're stuck in this like 50mm lens and you have no peripheral. And that's exactly how it felt in the game. And you're just like tense. Perfect. Literally perfect. I also love how like the thing with when Joel took a nap, the thing with the burning down barn, they swapped sides of the screen. Like the burning down barn is on the other side of the street. Joel's taking a bed on the other side of the, taking a nap in the bed, the couch on the other side of the room. I liked that. I don't know if even those are conscious decisions, but just the fact that they just like moved it a little bit. So it's like, this is the show. I like that. I think they did that in a number of scenes. Again, I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just like, it works better or whatever, but I liked it. Sarah's death scene. So I thought that watching the death scene in the game was hard. I was sobbing. I haven't cried that hard watching TV. I don't even remember. Jenna looked over at me and I was like, just Pedro Pascal, Gabriel Luna, and Nico Parker knocked that scene out of the park. I was in so much pain watching that. I like couldn't believe how hard it hit. Also, by the way, Nico Parker, perfect Sarah, literally perfect Sarah. They gave us the perfect amount of time to get to know and love Sarah, and then they ripped her away from us. Yes. They showed her character in like 4 scenes, and they took their time, and then it was just tragedy. And we've all seen, again, this is stuff that you know is happening. You're expecting it, and it's just fucking brutal. So yeah, that scene, I knew I was gonna cry. So, okay. There's a few scenes in this series that I know I'm gonna really have a hard time with. That was one of them. And the other ones, I've cried during the playthrough, and I will cry come those times. But I knew this was coming, and it hit me in the head like a ton of bricks. So beautifully done. During this scene, I noticed the dialogue that really played, I think, that I noticed, it stuck out to me, was the military perimeter guard. He's radioing in that he finds this dad and his daughter with a broken ankle, and he's describing the scene, and you hear him say, "Yes, sir," 3 times. And it was like such an unbelievable delivery. The way each "yes, sir" got more and more scary and grave. Like the first one was like, "Yes, sir." Like he's just telling, telling orders and replying. The second one was like, "Yes, sir." And it was like a little bit more stern. And then the last one was, "Yes, sir." Or like, it was just like, he like had no fucking choice, and he was like not happy to say it, but the last one was just like such a scary "yes, sir." Like, you know how on stream when I'm like, "Yes, sir," it's like the literal opposite of that. He probably watched my stream and was like, I gotta do what that guy is not doing. 100% watch my stream. Acting lessons. So yeah, this was just really good acting. That's all. Really good acting. This last "yes, sir" is like, it's stuck with me in my head. Something I noticed, again, different from the game, because the transition in the game is different than the transition in the show from the 20-year gap, right? You see the death scene with Joel, Tommy, and Sarah, and then it cuts, I forget exactly, but I think he's in the Fedra camp, and then someone gets like executed or something for testing positive. It was different. It cuts right, okay, so Sarah dies in a field in the dark, and then it's morning, and a child appears from another field. It was like Sarah, the Sarah chapter was closed in the dark in a field, and then this kid appears in this like daytime beautiful scene in this field. I thought that was a cool transition. Talking about this transition, this kid who obviously has been infected I watched it twice. I watched the episode twice. The very early stages of this kid getting infected, there's a shot that I want to show, this one right here. So this is also one of my favorite shots of the episode. This is the kid kind of approaching outside the QZ, and it's just stunning. But this Fedra officer is looking the kid in the eye, and they know he's infected. They know he's gonna die, and she's looking at him, and she says, "You're safe." And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I could... Like, she was like, what if I told you we're gonna give you your meds, and then we're gonna get you your favorite food? And the kid is like, he's barely there. The kid's like not even there because he's on his way to becoming basically a zombie. And he's like, he like kind of nods and smiles. And then she says, "You're safe." And I was like, fuck, how, like you can read into this so deeply. Obviously the kid dies. They kill everyone who tests positive, right? But the kid is also safe from this world, you know? he doesn't have to like live through this like horror, this actual horror, smelling bodies get burned in the streets every day, watching people just get shot I mean, it's like death seems kind of like one of the best outcomes, just like a simple death. So this is creepy, and really like this actor did a great job delivering that. This line was fucking perfect. Was Riley a terrorist? When Marlene's talking to Ellie. Loved that. Because that dialogue can only exist in the year 2023, our year 2023, after Last of Us 1, Left Behind, and Last of Us 2 came out, right? But when they made The Last of Us 1, that lore wasn't really out there yet, right? The Riley, Marlene, and Ellie lore didn't exist. Are you my mom? Do I look like your mom? I know, that was so funny. Bella Ramsey killed it. Absolutely killed it. I actually did a double take. There were a few moments when Ellie delivered a line, like motherfucker, that I like did a double take. I looked at the screen and I was like, wait a minute, Ashley? Like the voice was unbelievable. It was so on point. And then also Gabriel Luna, his Tommy voice, same thing. I actually did a double take with Tommy too. I don't know how actors are incredible. Marlene auditioned for the voice actor role in the first game. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I saw that. 10 years ago, Marlene, the character who played Marlene, I forget the actor's name, she showed up to the audition for original Marlene. So yeah, praise for all the actors. Everyone did a great job. So anyway, Marlene's talking to Ellie. Ellie kind of learns a little bit more about Marlene and her connection to her. And then Ellie describes the Fireflies as terrorists. And then she goes, first of all, terrorists? And she like takes issue with that. And then she goes, was Riley a terrorist? And then you just see the look in Ellie's face and you're just like, oh my God. She just like sums up all of Left Behind in like one moment in her face with that expression. Wait, so she did play Marlene in the game? Oh, huh? So when I was watching one of the interviews, she was like, yeah, the first time I met Marlene, the character, was when I auditioned for her in the game. But then she didn't ever say she got it. She played that's so cool. Anyway, this line was really cool because it like really flipped what Ellie was saying on its head. I already talked about this, but the nap scene, incredible. The way it cut to the nighttime with the rain, just immediately felt like I was playing the game again. And then this final shot of the radio, this one right here, perfect. Just perfect. So some of the other shots that I didn't show, the fact that they decided for the big explosion during that escape scene to be a plane crashing into town was so wild and fucking crazy, but like also fit perfectly because it just added to the full-on chaos. Like when they're driving and you see like the 3 commercial airliners flying like basically in a single file line above them, it's just like, it's creepy seeing that level of chaos of people trying to leave. Meanwhile, us having been through a pandemic know that like the people in those planes are arguably the least safe. But I love that they decided to turn the gas station explosion into this. It felt more fitting. I don't know why. This was the shot of the burning barn. Literally pixel for pixel, they replicated this shot. And again, look at this point of view. Your notes, Joel and Ellie's first interaction. Oh, did I skip one thing? Let me see. Oh, here. Oh, I did skip. Oh shit, I skipped a whole bunch. Okay. Joel and Ellie's first interaction was perfect. Yeah, they exchanged a couple of looks during their first interaction. First of all, he yeets her into the wall and I just literally laughed out loud. The way he just throws her into the wall, she's a fucking child, made me laugh so hard. Maybe wouldn't be as funny to someone who doesn't understand what's gonna happen in their relationship, but like out of context, like that's hilarious. She like sneaks out from this room to try to attack him and he just like yeets her into a wall and then steps on her knife so she can't get it. And they have that first like look at each other. And I was like, this look with this like exchange of like nonverbal communication between them was perfect. It was like, they're both so fucking stubborn and broken, you know? And you're like, oh boy, these two. And then yeah, like her delivering those lines were like, it actually made me double take. Yeah, this shot was crazy. And then yeah, these two. So those are all the shots. I kind of rushed this screenshot process. I had to download an extension on my laptop to be able to screenshot HBO Max, because every time you screenshot it like blacks out the screen. So we'll do this again next week. I wanted to just kind of give you a couple of thoughts. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth next week. But yeah, I'm literally so excited for this show to continue. And I have a lot of emotions about it, like too many emotions about it. So anyway, spoilers over.